Well, so ARTMS is going to have a comeback. Let's go over some of my ideas, because even though this is not even a full minute of teaser, I have a lot to say. First, let's go over the text that appears throughout the teaser. Are you living in the real world? To those who have faith, a new world shall be opened. You who have found us, the white token of promise, shall come to your door. Place the wings of a white angel upon your head and stain your eyes red. You who resemble us, let our kiss flow blue blood through your veins. When reality and illusion become one, blue blood shall stain the entire city. With the setting sun behind us, we shall become one and dance in the hidden park between the buildings. Whoever turns the clockwork and beholds the silver token shall become the key that breaks the egg in which the goddess sleeps. This is the call. From the great egg, a goddess like a nightmare shall awaken. Find us. Behold, read and move. These words shall become a revelation for you. By the way, the Find Us is shown multiple times with less opacity, which makes it difficult to see, but it is there, like subliminal messaging. What makes this teaser fascinating to me is that it doesn't read like a normal comeback trailer at all. It reads like a religious revelation, kind of a cult prophecy, or an initiation text. The teaser basically seems like a propaganda video by the Light Being. The audience is not being told a story, they're being addressed directly as potential participants in the cult of the Light Being. When combined with the hidden Instagram account that shows a lot of the Icarus MV imagery and the reoccurring wingless bird-human hybrid, we get what seems to be the beginning of a surprisingly coherent narrative. Of course, this is only speculation, but I think there are enough reoccurring motives that we can at least attempt to connect some of these dots. The central question I have is this salvation or horror? The teaser opens with, "Are you living in the real world? To those who have faith, a new world shall be opened." Immediately, we are presented with a familiar structure found in religion, mythology, and cosmic horror. The world you know is incomplete, false, overall not what it seems to be. Hidden knowledge exists, and certain people are chosen to receive that true knowledge. Then a transformation happens. This could be interpreted as a story of enlightenment. However, ARTMS immediately complicates that reading by introducing imagery of blood, bodily transformation, and a nightmare goddess. The result is that the teaser constantly asks, are you being saved, or are you being recruited or even used? One of the strongest points that connects this back to Icarus is that the white token of promise could be referring to the white cross pennant that we see at the end of the Icarus MV. If this is correct, then the teaser is not introducing a new symbol, but continuing a story that already began. The line, "You who have found us, the white token of promise," takes on a new meaning then. The pennant becomes a sign of selection, an initiation by the goddess. The first step towards becoming part of its cult, part of the Club Icarus. The word promise is especially important. A promise is not a reward. A promise is something that will be fulfilled later. Like we saw with the wingless bird human in Icarus, she was promised something, but a promise is not something set in stone. Finding the white token marks the beginning of the process rather than its conclusion. The chosen individual has not reached the new world, they have merely received the invitation to go there. Heejin's section of the teaser contains one of the most intriguing lines. Place the wings of a white angel upon your head and stain your eyes red. At first glance, this sounds uplifting. Angels traditionally represent freedom, divinity, and transcendence. But there is something unusual here. The text does not say grow wings, instead it says place the wings upon your head. This sounds more like adapting a symbol rather than undergoing a true transformation. Then comes stain your eyes red. The imagery shifts immediately from purity to corruption. White becomes red. The angelic becomes unsettling. The transformation already feels less trustworthy than it initially appeared. This becomes even more significant when we consider the imagery from the beginning of the Icarus MV and the hidden Instagram account. The account contains X-ray images of a bird-human hybrid, making it more apparent that the bird-human was not so much just a metaphor, but it was something truly physical. And then there is the found footage style video, a scene in which someone discovers a seemingly living, wingless bird-human hybrid in a cornfield. This reoccurrence may be one of the most important clues in the entire account. Why? Well, because it completely changes our understanding of the angel imagery. The great irony of this physical change. If the prophecy promises angelic transformation, what would we typically expect? Wings, flight, freedom, and transcendence. Instead, we repeatedly see a creature that appears to be defined by the absence of those things. The bird human possesses bird-like features, but no visible wings, a disturbing incomplete appearance. It resembles a being that should be able to fly but cannot, a being that has lost the very thing that defines it. Place the wings upon your head does not mean truly being free, but more so freeing your mind, putting a sign of freedom on your head as a crown, while not being able to actually use it. A false angel. This creates a powerful possibility. The prophecy promises freedom, but the transformation removes it completely. Under this interpretation, the teaser becomes almost a warning sign. The followers believe we will become angels, but what actually happens is something more like we become dependent creatures of the goddess, a part of her. The chosen surrender their identity in exchange for a promise of transcendence. Instead of becoming powerful, they become incomplete. The wingless bird human could represent the final result of devotion, a creature waiting for direction, unable to return to its previous existence, unable to become what it hoped to be, entirely dependent on the power that transformed it. This interpretation aligns remarkably well with cult narratives, the faithful believers that are becoming liberated while actually being lied to. So the audience gradually realizes that they are actually becoming trapped. Kimlip's section introduces another crucial symbol. Let our kiss flow blue blood through your veins. Historically, blue blood is associated with nobility and divine beings. Within the teaser, however, it seems to function more like a transmission. The kiss transfers something. The blood changes, identity changes. Then we are told, when reality and illusion become one, blue blood shall stain the entire city. This sounds less like an individual transformation and more like a spreading phenomenon, a conversion, an awakening, possibly even an infection, which is interesting because it was one of the first things I theorized about ARTMS' new story. In Birth, there was the symbol of a kind of fungus taking over a deer head, another physical transformation that takes away your freedom. But this way, the transformation no longer affects a single chosen individual, but more so it spreads outward. The city itself becomes altered. Reality and illusion become one. This line may be one of the keys to understanding the entire concept. Throughout the promotional material, there is this deliberate blurring of reality and the supernatural. The bird-human hybrid appears as symbolic imagery in Icarus, then as an anatomical X-ray, and then as a seemingly real creature in a found footage-style video. The progression mirrors the teaser's prophecy. The imagery becomes reality. Reality and illusion merge. This suggests that the awakening of the goddess may not simply be the arrival of a being, it may be the collapse of the boundaries between two worlds. Cherry's section introduces the hidden park between the buildings. This is just classical liminal space imagery. It is neither nature nor civilization, neither one world nor the other. It exists between them, just like Middle-earth did in the Loonaverse. It is interesting because in a way those places were some of the first liminal spaces, so Luna was doing it before it even was a viral thing. So these locations also frequently serve as gateways in mythology and fantasy stories. The hidden park may therefore represent the meeting place of worlds, a threshold or a point where transformation occurs, in a way mirroring the transformation of Kimlip in Eclipse, Jinsol in Singing in the Rain, and Cherry in Sweet Crazy Love. If the teaser is about crossing into a new reality, this hidden location could therefore be where the crossing begins, or the place of transformation for the girls entering it. Whoever turns the clockwork and beholds the silver token shall become the key. This introduces several important concepts: time, mechanisms, destiny, and transformation. Most importantly, the chosen individual does not find a key, the chosen individual becomes the key. And this is a recurring idea in mythical narratives. You cease to be merely a participant, you literally become part of the process itself. The transformation reaches a point where the individual is no longer separate from the prophecy, which makes me believe that the bird-human girl is not alone in this transformation. Maybe she even is connected to the other missing girl. Could it be that she was already transformed as well? The teaser then reaches its central image, the key that breaks the egg in which the goddess sleeps. This is where comparisons to cosmic egg mythology becomes relevant. Across numerous traditions and cultures, the cosmic egg represents potential, creation, a sleeping universe, a reality wanting to be born. Breaking the egg signifies the birth of a new age, a new reality, a new order. The teaser suggests that the chosen are not passive witnesses, but rather are the mechanisms by which the egg breaks. Then comes the most revealing line: "From the great egg, a goddess like a nightmare shall awaken." Notice what happens here. Everything before this point has been framed positively: faith, angels, promise, revelation. Yet the goddess is described as like a nightmare. This dramatically changes the tone. The teaser never explicitly tells us that the awakening is a good thing, but the believers of course seem to assume that it is. This ambiguity may be intentional. The same event can be interpreted as salvation or the apocalypse, depending on your perspective. Like the bird human girl burning down a village, you would think that this is evil and bad, but to her it was a kind of freedom she took for herself. The hidden Instagram account also underlines a lot of this. It is less of a simple promotion, it's more like an extension of the narrative. The audience is encouraged to search, decode, and investigate. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they thought we would find this account way earlier, since some of these postings were from January, and then they were kind of disappointed that we didn't find it. But yeah, in a way this mirrors the teaser's themes. Behold, read, and move. Not simply observe, but participate. The audience is effectively placed in the role of the chosen, so fans become recipients of the revelation. Putting everything together, this is the story I imagine. A sleeping goddess exists beyond ordinary reality, the light being. Certain individuals discover signs of her existence through scare tokens, callings from TV screens, etc. Basically everything we see in the Icarus MV. These chosen individuals find a place beyond reality and undergo a transformation. They believe they are becoming angels and ascending into a higher state. As reality and illusion merge, the transformation spreads. The Chosens become the key that unlocks the cosmic egg. The goddess awakens, a new world is born. But the unresolved question is how this world looks like. Whether this new world is paradise or a total nightmare. But the wingless bird human maybe is the answer to this. If it represents the final result of devotion, then the prophecy is tragic. They seek transcendence and surrender themselves totally to the goddess. The faithful seek freedom and become dependent. They seek wings but lose them. If, however, the bird human represents an intermediate state, a type of cocoon before rebirth, then the transformation may still be incomplete. Or maybe we already know what will hatch from it. Well, right now ARTMS seem deliberately unwilling to reveal which interpretation is correct. It is up to us. To me, the most effective aspect of this teaser is that it simultaneously functions as a religious invitation and a horror movie-esque warning. Everything beautiful has something disturbing attached to it. Angels and red eyes, promise and blood, revelation and nightmare, flight and a wingless bird, a goddess and something terrifying. That tension is what makes the teaser so compelling. Rather than telling us whether the goddess is a savior or a monster, ARTMS appears to be asking a more interesting question. If a new world was offered to you, you who has been suffering, how much of yourself would you be willing to sacrifice to enter it? In a way, I believe this entire ARTMS story is not simply calling back to the Luna lore, but continuing it from a different angle. The Mobius strip was always one of the most important symbols in the Loonaverse. A Mobius strip has no true beginning nor true end. It loops endlessly, always returning to itself. Because of that, I think ARTMS may be exploring the idea that history itself is trapped in a cycle. What if the events we witnessed in birth were not the beginning of the story, but the end of the previous timeline? The members are hunted by the mysterious light being, the world appears to be collapsing, and then the cycle reaches its conclusion. But instead of ending, the loop begins again. A new attempt, a new timeline, a new chance for the light being to achieve what it could not before, but also a new chance for the 5 members to end the cycle. This is also where the number 5 becomes important. Throughout ARTMS' story, the light being appears fragmented, almost incomplete. What if it cannot fully manifest in reality on its own? What if it requires 5 suitable vessels, 5 special girls, in order to take shape within the physical world? Not necessarily these exact 5 girls every time, but always 5. If the process fails, the cycle resets. The timeline folds back into itself. The search begins again. The light being remains trapped between worlds, unable to fully emerge or change this fate. This would explain why Virtual Angel feels less like a story about angels and more like a story about selection. The entity is searching. It is looking for individuals who can hear its call and respond to it, not because it wishes to save them, but because it needs them. Then comes Icarus. Now we see the ARTMS members connected to forces beyond ordinary reality as well. They encounter strange phenomena, unexplained objects, and symbols that seem tied to the light being's influence. Unlike previous candidates, these girls appear uniquely compatible with the entity. They can sense it, they can interact with it, they may even share some connection to it. They are exactly what it has been searching for. Yet there is another force at work within the story. This is where I believe Jinsul's role becomes important. If the teaser presents the awakening of the goddess as a revelation, then someone must exist who understands the danger of that revelation, someone who remembers what happened before, someone who refuses to accept the cycle. Kind of like Homura in Madoka Magica, Jinsul is the one suffering the most. She has to see all these timelines fail, and over again she has to start over. The imagery surrounding Jinsul was reminiscent of Joan of Arc, because both figures stand in opposition to a seemingly inevitable fate. In this interpretation, Jinsul is not trying to fulfill the prophecy, she is trying to stop it. Like a phoenix, she may fail, only to rise again when the cycle restarts. Every timeline becomes another opportunity to resist the awakening. Every defeat becomes another chance to learn. She has not succeeded yet, but she keeps on trying. Meanwhile, the sign of the goddess influence continues to spread. The bird-human hybrid may be the clearest evidence of this. At first, it appears only as symbolism, then as anatomical imagery, then as a seemingly real creature discovered in the physical world. The transformation is no longer confined to dreams, visions, or another dimension. Reality itself begins to change. The barrier between worlds is weakening. As the teaser warns, when reality and illusion become one. The goddess does not need to fully awaken before the facts are felt. Her influence is already leaking into the world, reshaping living things and preparing reality for her arrival. And that brings us back to the egg. Like the egg of the perfect world in Berserk, the egg represents the birth of a new reality. The faithful see this as salvation. They believe a new world is about to begin. But what if they are wrong? What if the new world is not a paradise, but the complete victory of the entity that has spent countless cycles trying to enter reality? The egg is nearing the moment of hatching. The cycle is approaching its breaking point, but someone must stand against it, not to save the current world, but to finally break the loop that traps it for countless timelines and creates a new one. Another important detail that makes me believe ARTMS may be continuing the deeper themes of the Loonaverse is how naturally the old burn motive fits into this new story. At first glance, burn yourself sounds destructive. It sounds like an ending. But throughout Luna's lore, burning was rarely portrayed as simply destruction. Instead, it was associated with transformation, liberation, and the possibility of becoming something new. If ARTMS is truly exploring the world trapped within a Mobius-like cycle, then burning takes on an even greater meaning. A Mobius strip has no beginning and no end. It endlessly returns to itself. Every victory becomes another beginning. Every ending becomes another repetition. The world is never truly allowed to move forward. What if that is the real prison? What if the greatest enemy is not the goddess, the light being, or even the prophecy itself, but the cycle that allows all of it to happen again and again? In that case, burn yourself is no longer a call of destruction, it becomes a call of renewal. The old self must burn away, the old timeline must burn away, the old world must burn away, only then can something genuinely new emerge. So this was my theory for now. I hope you liked the video and enjoyed it, and I would appreciate a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.